Other gods. The religions of the world will have you believe there was ever just one God, and he was the God of Israel. They think that every word of the God of Israel should be obeyed, but they will not even obey the 10 commandments he gave the Israelites. So let's look at some writings that speak of other gods and see other gods were alive. This means the mud tablet is scared. Notice please. Translation: I offered sacrifice to my lady Ninkarak Gula, mistress of Igalma. I prayed and implored her. I told her the matter that I was constantly considering, and spoke like this: entrust to me the people of Sumer and Akkad, all the lands. Let the people of the upper and the lower lands bring their weighty tribute into Igalma. So who was the person recognized as Gula? The history book calls her a goddess. Notice, Gula/Ninkarak is a healing deity also known as Ninizina, Lady of Izan. In the night time, Holy Gula, the exalted lady, stood before me. She heard my speech, spoke to me clearly and blessed me. You shall set a place in the underground water, in the ocean beneath the earth. You shall raise the top to the distant sky, in, above, a state of privilege. Afterwards, Marduk, the king of the gods, who, the whole of heaven and earth, will, the people of Sumer and Akkad to his city Babylon. OPPs, there is another recognized god named Marduk, and you will find others as we read. Marduk went quickly to his father, Ea, the craftsman, the counselor of heaven and earth. May Esagila, the majestic shrine, be, to the limits of heaven and earth. May the Lord of Lords, who dwells in the shrine, from east to west, may he shepherd human beings like sheep. May the city be famous. The Lord Nudimud Ea carried out all he had said. Throughout heaven he honored him. Ea was Enki, the Sumerian god of wisdom and the father of Marduk. Then Anu and Enlil, the great gods, favored him and decreed, may he be the leader of the upper and lower lands. May the great gods of heaven and earth tremble before his shrine. Raise up to the sky the top of Esagila, of Ikwa, the palace of heaven and earth. May the great gods of heaven and earth tremble before his shrine. What? Great gods of heaven? For the gods of that city, the great gods of heaven and earth, for daily, monthly, and yearly renewal of life, no god shall oppose it, whose mind, at his command they are bound, the hostile gods clad in dirty clothes. Whoever sins against the gods of that city, his star shall not stand in the sky, his kingship will end, his scepter will be taken away, his treasury will become a heap of ruins. And the King of heaven and earth said thus, the gods of heaven and earth, the behavior of each former king of which I hear to. In the reign of Puzur-Nara, king of Aksak, the freshwater fishermen of Esagila were catching fish for the meal of the great Lord Marduk. The officers of the king took away the fish. The fisherman was fishing when 7 or 8 days had passed. In the house of Kubaba, note the tavern keeper, they brought to Esagila. At that time broken Anna for Esagila, Kubaba gave bread to the fisherman and gave water. She made him offer the fish to Esagila. Marduk, the king, the prince of the Apsu, favored her and said, "Let it be so." He entrusted to Kyubaba, the tavern keeper, sovereignty over the whole world. Urzababa ordered Sargon, his cupbearer, to change the wine libations of Esagila. Sargon did not change but was careful to offer, quickly to Esagila. Marduk, the king of the world, favored him and gave him the rule of the four corners of the world. He took care of Esagila. Everyone who sat on a throne brought his tribute to Babylon. Yet he ignored the command Bel had given him. He dug soil from its pit and in front of Akkad he built a city which he named Babylon. Enlil changed the order he had given and from east to west people opposed him. He could not sleep. Naram-Sinot destroyed the people of Babylon, so twice Marduk summoned the forces of Gutium against him. Marduk gave his kingship to the Gutian force. The Gutians were unhappy people unaware how to revere the gods, ignorant of the right cultic practices. Utu-Hegel note the fisherman, caught a fish at the edge of the sea for an offering. That fish should not be offered to another god until it had been offered to Marduk, but the Gutians took the boiled fish from his hand before it was offered, so by his august command, Marduk removed the Gutian force from the rule of his land and gave it to Utu-Hegel. Utu-Hegel, the fisherman, carried out criminal acts against Marduk's city, so the river carried off his corpse. Then Marduk gave sovereignty over the whole world to Sulgi, son of Ur-Nammu, but he did not perform his rites to the letter. He defiled his purification rituals and his sin. Amar-Sin, his son, changed the offerings of large oxen and sheep of the Akatuk festival in Esagila. We can stop here and I'm sure you can realize that there were other gods. Anyone that can't, there sure is a lot more evidence that came out of Sumer Iraq that can help them if they are smart enough to do research. Don't be misled by religions of planet Earth. God has no religion on planet Earth. Those that say he does are liars. They want to control you for power and your money. God put man on earth with a mind and common sense. The problem is when man doesn't use common sense and he lets other greedy people tell him how to think. If you keep letting other people think for you, you will never find or understand who or where our real Creator dwells. Reality is what you need to use to find truth, and you do that by using your common sense. Don't shy away from people that is smarter than you. We start in life as dumb people and we learn as we grow older. Some of us learn from our parents as we grow in age and some of us go to schools and learn different things. But I tell you this today, you will never learn who God, our Father is, if you don't study what is real. Everything He does is visible, or we can use our senses to detect that it is created. He is not invisible, we can see where He dwells and know that He is there. God tells us that He created a second God and we are to benefit from this second God in ways we don't understand. This second God is His method He uses to pass life to everything in our Milky Way kingdom. Notice, it is God then that everlastingly governs all the sources of life in the cosmos. He is the eternal dispenser of life itself. But when life has once been dispensed to all the sources of life, the supply of it is maintained in accordance with eternal law, and the manner of its maintenance I will proceed to explain. The cosmos moves within the very life of eternity and is contained in that very eternity where all life issues, and for this reason it is impossible that it should at any time come to a stand, or be destroyed, since it is walled in and bound together, so to speak, by eternal life. And the cosmos is itself the dispenser of life to all things in it here below, and the place in which are contained all things which are subject to control beneath the sun. The movement is of the cosmos itself consists of a twofold working. Life is infused into the cosmos from without by eternity, and the cosmos infuses life into all things that are within it, distributing all things according to fixed and determined relations of number and time, by the operation of the sun and the movements of the stars. The process of time is wholly determined by God's law, but the lapse of terrestrial time is marked by the changing states of the atmosphere, and the variations of heat and cold, while that of celestial time is marked by the return of the heavenly bodies to their former positions as they move in their periodic revolutions. The cosmos mentioned is our star system called our solar system. It is also called our universe because it is an organized body. Also mentioned is the greater cosmos known as our Milky Way galaxy that was created to be our second God. So understand how life is passed and the long journey it takes for life to get to you. Everything in the second God is wrapped up in a blanket of eternal life and nothing will ever come to ruin in our kingdom. I will leave you with this thought. The hope of eternal life stands before you. Learn how to get there if you want it. Call on your Creator and He will come to you. He will make Himself known to you and you will know it's Him. Understand this, the path to immortality is hard, and only a few find it. The rest await the great day when the wheels of the universe shall be stopped and the immortal sparks shall escape from the sheaths of substance. Woe to those who wait, for they must return again, unconscious and unknowing, to the seed ground of stars, and await a new beginning. Those who are saved by the light of the mystery which I have revealed to you, O Hermes, and which I now bid you to establish among men, shall return again to the Father who dwells in the white light, and shall deliver themselves up to the light and shall be absorbed into the light, and in the light they shall become powers in God. This is the way of good and is revealed only to them that have wisdom.